Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome a score of talented people here tonight. I have Mó Sheerin. How are you, Mó?
Hello, how are you? All
Welcome
good?
to the show. Welcome to the show. Adrian Foley, how are you, my man?
How's it going, Richie? Hello, everyone.
And we've Molly's iPad down the corner, which is Keith McCoy. How are you, Keith?
She's in bed. She'll take it off. Hey, how's it going?
So welcome to the show, lads. This is all about solo projects. I love championing them on the show, really. So I've been kind of following all your stuff with interest, and it's wonderful what you're doing. So I really would like to kind of get an insight into where you are with some of them. I know some of you are actually finished and released. I think I'll start with you, Mó, because you're in the throes of, I suppose, making final decisions on stuff. Or is that part even gone now? Whereabouts are you?
At the moment, we're in the process of releasing 3 singles by the end of June. Fingers crossed. We're adding in our little perfectionist little traits in there as well. You know, when you kind of revisit songs back and forth. But we're aiming for a June release at this point anyway. A good chunk of the songs are done, and aiming for 3 singles by June.
Right, and the name of it is Nebularis.
Yeah, Nebularis.
Okay, so you're a science fiction freak, a bit like Keith. I'm nearly sure is big into science fiction too. I could be wrong, but
I'm sure we're all nerds here.
yeah. How important is that in relation to the stuff that we can expect of you? Is there a science fiction team running through it, or? Oh,
definitely. I mean, the band itself is made up of 4 dorks, basically. We all have our cinematic and soundscape. We all have our cinematic and soundscape inspiration, so we're definitely putting them through. And yeah, like hopefully, I mean, if people like sci-fi and cinematic scores, they're gonna definitely enjoy this alongside kind of heavy-devy riffs and a Dream Theater vibe in some areas as well. So.
Okay, and it's not going to be an instrumental. Is there vocals on some of this?
Oh, there's vocals, but I can't announce that just yet. But it'll be a great surprise for people anyway. So.
Oh, class! And you have Terry McHugh of Altus doing bass. Good acquisition straight away.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Terry McHugh and I have been friends well, we're both Nordies, so we've been friends a very long time. So, it felt wrong not to have him, and like he's just been delivering such. Of course, I mean, if you've ever heard him play, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. He's just superhuman in terms of his playability, and yeah, even with Damien on drums as well, both of them complement the sound really, really well. So.
And can we reveal about who's producing it? Can I have a guess?
You can.
Josh,
yes, of course. We'll give that away, the nordiness, yeah.
Who wouldn't have Josh on board,
He's just fantastic. So, JSR Audio, he's going to be producing it, and I just trust him entirely with the sound as well, so.
You're absolutely guaranteed.
He has very intricate mindset when it comes to just mixing and producing in general. So,
Now, have any of you all met before? Keith, Mó, have your paths crossed?
I don't think.
Adrian?
I don't think so.
That's mad.
The only place might have been the Siege, but I probably wouldn't have remembered.
Siege or Fibbers, as I said.
If I didn't meet you at Siege, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd probably give you a piggyback to the toilet at some stage or something.
You're talking to Adrian there, yeah?
I don't know. It's just open to everyone.
He's talking about me, really. I'm usually in critical condition anyway. But
whatever happens in the toilet stays in the toilet.
So what happens at the Siege stays at the Siege.
Yeah, that's it. Like now, I know Mó, you were involved in the All Ireland Metal Project. Adrian and Keith, were you tempted to get involved in that at any stage?
Adrian, no. I actually was. I would love to have been a part of it.
Right.
But the only thing putting me off was they were talking about maybe gigging it live at some stage. I couldn't really commit to that because I was in a band at the time, cover band thing, and weekends were taken up. So
yeah,
I didn't want to let people down and go, I can't do the live side of it. But I would definitely would have loved to have recorded. Definitely.
Yeah.
You know.
And what was it like?
Live side, sorry.
No, go on, Mo. You were saying.
I think the live side of it was optional, though. You know, like because I did it with 3 people that were from. Oh gosh, 2 were from Dublin and 1 was from Cork. So we couldn't possibly do. It would have been awesome to do so, but yeah.
And what was it like for you, Mo? Did you that track, The Morgan, is absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favorite tracks on the second album. No, seriously, I absolutely loved it. And when I had the lads on, it was quite plain and saying as well, like Julia's vocal delivery for that was fucking outrageous.
Savage, like absolutely savage, you know. Came quite organically as well. I mean, it was just a very organic, you know, just riff, and then the rest of them followed suit as well. So
yeah, like shout out to Veronica of Neon Empire and Zoe Cabana, and as I said, Julia. So in relation to Witchkicker as well, is that part for the while?
Like I suppose with anything like before lockdown, some things fizzled out, and like I'd love, like there is talk with the girls of getting it back together, and just think that lockdown kind of put a little halt on things there. So
yeah, of course it did, but I mean, I would imagine it inspired all of you creatively wise to come up with new material. Adrian, you're after releasing a fantastic EP. Congratulations, man. The Ancient Dark.
Oh, cool. Thanks very much.
Love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot, man.
And I was shocked, man. I just didn't realize that you were behind Necrokinesis as well. Or Necrokinesis, how would you pronounce it?
Necrokinesis, yeah.
Necrokinesis. I was just going, holy fuck, that's the same dude.
Same dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, like you were in Stereo Nasty for people that don't know. And maybe you could just take us from when the band, I presume, are you split up or are you kind of in hiatus or what?
The Stereo Nasty is split up, gone. It's kind of gone with a sort of ... question mark to be continued. Like there's about 3/4 of us that would do it again, but it's just down to our singer, Mick, who I don't know, and to be honest, I don't know if I do it without him because his voice was such a big part of it. Like, so it's gone. There's no plans to bring it back or anything like that, but never say never. You know, maybe at some point.
I had the privilege of seeing you play the Siege twice, I think, maybe. I definitely saw you at one time, anyway, in the Siege.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, it was like Stereo Nasty was it kind of it took off a bit, and it was a great way to get out and to tour and do things, and it's a great experience. Like it's sort of it kind of ran its course, I think. We did 2 albums, and things went really, really well for us. It kind of haunts me wondering what could have happened next if we had kept going, if we had done things, because things were starting to open up for us, like, and we were starting to build a bit of a fan base across Europe and stuff like that. So, it would have been cool to see what happened next, but like at the same time, it was a great experience and no complaint, you know. So it was cool, you know. So in relation to the band finishing up, and I presume you had maybe 2 or 3 completed songs hanging around. Were they potentially Stereo Nasty ones, and then did they end up in Necro, or did they end up in The Ancient Dark? No, none of that stuff. No, I did have other Stereo Nasty songs that never wound up. I was writing the 3rd album, but they're still knocking around there somewhere as the 3rd Stereo Nasty album, but never happened. Like I was writing some of the stuff that wound up on The Ancient Dark. Some of the stuff that wound up on the EP there I was writing that back when Stereo Nasty was still going. the Necrokinesis stuff might be knocking around, but I had everything very kind of compartmentalized in my head that even if Nasty was still going, I was still sort of planning on doing something on the side anyway. So like I kind of was figuring that Nasty was very 80s heavy metal and very much in a box, and I wanted to do stuff that was outside of that box one way or the other. So, there was no Nasty stuff wound up anywhere else. Like so, if it sounds like it did, that's just because that's just how I write. It's not. There was no like leftover riffs or anything like that, you know. So
yeah, and would you describe yourself as more of a rhythm guitarist than a lead guitarist?
Yeah, very much so. Very much as a rhythm guitar player, as a riff guy. That's always been my thing. I kind of learned how to play solos and stuff, whatever, just because there was no lead guitar players knocking around, and also because it allowed me to be a bit of a control freak and not have to bring in some lead guitar player whose ego might clash with mine.
Some little.
But like playing rhythm guitar is my thing. I just love riffs and rhythms and stuff, and like I'll play it every day and play for hours and stuff like that. But it's always just riffs and stuff. That's where I'm at. That's my shtick is. That's my thing, you know. So, and I can play lead. I've played lead in a couple of bands. I can do solos. I can do stuff like that. But it's kind of a necessary evil. Like, you know, it's just something that I do because I have to do because the song needs it, not because, you know, it's my thing. Like, you know.
And Mo, would you think more in the line of rhythm or lead guitar?
Definitely rhythm as well, man. I mean, I love making a really like kind of circular, catchy. There's a word I'm looking for. Robberous, I guess. Riff, memorable. Like I like making riffs that kind of stand out as opposed to a full solo. That wouldn't be my strong point either. But I agree with Adrian. I think we'd be kind of similar players in that aspect. I don't know. Like I just wouldn't concentrate too much on solos per se. I know that I'm the only guitarist in the solo album as well, and there is solos. But I do mainly focus on riffs and the general progression of the song.
Pete, how good are you?
Bad thing. I don't know.
How good are your guitar chops?
I'm good enough just to write my own songs.
Right.
You know, that's like I couldn't play Sweet Home Alabama, but I can play my 1916 stuff no better. But I couldn't play an Oasis song.
Yeah.
I learn what I need to, and that's about as far as it goes. But I was actually lucky enough. You probably know PJ, do you? PJ O'Connell?
Yeah.
Hedfuzzy. He actually offered to record the guitars for me.
Wow.
Could he? So.
And was that kind of a situation like Adrian where you were just going, nah, this is my own thing? And
yeah, I'm a bit controlly as well. You know, every single note. But I kind of learned to let go of that a little. And PJ is one of the best guitar players in the country.
Yeah.
Along with the lads here, obviously. So, definitely do what you think is best for these songs. He pretty much stuck to what I wrote anyway, you know.
Yeah, so he just, he is on the 3 new tracks, is he? Does he make an appearance on it?
He's played rhythm on all my EPs so far. It's the third one out.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So awesome.
So are you just mainly concentrating then, Keith, yourself on, is it just bass and drums yourself, or is it just all drums and synths? Or
drums, synth, bass I record.
Okay.
I record a scratch tracks guitar for PJ then.
Yeah.
Send them off to him, he'll come back. Basically note for note of what I did anyway. And then he'll go, oh, well, I put some cool lead here, I don't know if you like it or not, and it comes back. It's the best solo I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I'll keep that.
Yeah, you've got that demeanour about you, like you're fucking fairly easy going enough.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Who am I to? PJ's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You do what you think is best. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. No, so I've been definitely lucky enough to, and I've had friends. Well, I kind of left them alone for this EP, but the first couple of EPs, I've had Graham from Vicious Head Society.
Oh, wow, that's some flair, lad. Yeah.
Alan from Symbiotic Tomorrow, and a few kind of special guest friends.
Yeah.
I kind of left them alone for this EP, but
see,
it's definitely been cool to have them.
Would I be correct in saying as well, lads, that your location is very important in relation to getting these guys to appear on your albums or EPs, especially with you, Keith, in Limerick, man. You have a great scene in Limerick, and there's lads there you can call at a heartbeat.
Well, I suppose with the internet now, you can kind of call on anyone, really. But
that's the cool thing about it, as well.
Yeah, but it's the lads of Astor were just friends of mine. The people I've played with anyway. Like I'm Hedfuzzy with P.3.
Yeah,
and I know McCoy from Zella Cult my whole life, and I've played in a cover band with Graham, and we're good buddies, and Alan. I grew up with Alan as well from a band called we were in a band called Mystery's End years ago.
Yeah.
He's in a band now called Symbiotic tomorrow, and I do all the drumming for him.
Yeah, that's right, actually. I saw
they're all great players, but they're all friends of mine as well, so I'm kind of lucky.
Adrian, how would you find that situation yourself in relation to where you're living and stuff? I'd imagine it must be hard for you to jam and meet people. The nearest place is probably Dublin, is it?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like I don't really have anybody here around. Like the nearest to
What's
me.
What's the name of the town again? Bagnallstown.
Bagnallstown.
Bagnallstown. Okay.
Bagnallstown, yeah, so probably.
I'm still laughing at that.
Bagnallstown.
Bagnallstown. Bagnallstown.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So you're more or less left to your own devices there, my man, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very much so left my own devices. Like the nearest town to me that has music probably be my hometown of Ty, which is down the road. So that's probably more and beloved in all season, and that those lads are there. But yeah, very much on my own, and very much like away from the music stuff. Like, and most of my friends are like kind of comic book nerds or jiu-jitsu heads or something like that, not really music friends as such. So like I'm very much isolated from it, and I'm kind of doubly sort of isolated because I'm dreadful with technology and dreadful like that there. That's about as high tech as I get. I've got one of those little Boss BR things. That's what I use for all my writing and stuff like that. And I'm recording stuff at home and sending files to people. That's like asking me to do some Chinese economics. It's just not going to happen. It's not in me.
Yeah.
I kind of, but I kind of, in a way, I sort of embrace that and sort of see that as being like just a kind of a freedom in that, and there's a sort of freedom in that there's no real expectations beyond what you put on yourself, and you kind of get to work on things on your own, and you're not worried about other people's thoughts and influence and stuff and rubbing off and stuff. So, but I have thought about like, and I have like, It would be great to be in Limerick or Dublin or somewhere where you have other people that you can call on and do stuff like.
It's not worth the price, man. It's not worth the rent.
But I suppose that's why someone like Michael Richards then is really important to you, Adrian.
Massively so. Like I've done so much stuff with Michael Richards over the last probably 10 years now at this point. But it's hugely important to me. Like if he closed up shop, I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck I do. It's very important to me to have someone that I can trust and that I rely on and that I can go to, and that I can kind of have a good sort of working relationship with recording like and stuff. And because I'm very much obsessive about, like, I was listening to Keith there talk about allowing PJ and stuff to get involved, and like I'm envious of that. Like I wish I had that type of thing, but I have such like control, and such the idea of someone else having an influence on it would just give me such huge anxiety. So I'd be like, no, I need to be in such control of what's happening here.
It's your baby,
so,
you know.
But
it's your baby, you know.
It's my So that's why, like, I really trust Michael Richards with ideas, and really trust him, like, with like guitar sounds and with different things. It's like he doesn't really produce as much as he kind of engineers and stuff. But if he does have like some sort of producer ideas, they're usually on the money, like, you know. So
yeah.
But yeah, without him, I'd be screwed. Like, yeah. So it's a kind of vital part in the whole process for me. Yeah.
In relation to instruments you played in, Adrian, what in relation to drums, bass? You had to. I know you had to kind of embrace the whole vocal side of things, and you've done a great job on it. I'd imagine that must have been a bit difficult for you initially as well.
Yeah, like I've never been a singer for any of the bands I've been in. I've always done like back vocals and stuff like that. I was in a few like heavier bands a long time ago. Few like kind of, and I used to like I had a pretty good death metal growl back in the day. So but like I haven't got to do any of that stuff for a while. So like another thing about when you're on your own and you're doing music on your own, you don't have the luxury of going to a practice place and like fucking singing through a PA a couple of nights a week to get your chops together. So you have to be creative. And I learned how to sing in the car on the way to work because I have an hour commute to work. So
nice.
I'm on Depeche Mode or something, and I just like practice my singing, and then anything that if I could get any instrumental mixes and stuff, I'd put it on, try and sing and stuff like that. Or I'd play this game of like I'd put on a CD and try and find the note before the singer came in, and then if the singer came in at the same note as I did, I was like, yeah, I want the money. So you just have to practice.
That's mad. Fair play to you, man. But are you a drummer or a bass player as well? Who did that, or are they programmed or what?
The drums are programmed. I just don't think at this point in my life I'm going to learn how to play drums. So it's like I did think about doing that, like, but just to get to the level of what would need it to be like, I just saw it's programmed drums, and then I'd play bass and do all the guitar parts and do the vocals and stuff. Yeah, so and like. It's kind of like so I wouldn't say I'm a bassist as such. It's just I play bass on I did it on the Necrokinesis thing, and I did it on the Ancient Dark thing, and I don't even own a bass, to be honest with you. I just use the one that's in the studio. So
fair play.
Jesus Christ, that's mad altogether.
One man Joe over here.
Yeah, Keith, back to you. What about lyrics? Do you struggle sometimes with lyrics?
Well, all my songs are instrumental, so
is that the reason why?
No, I'm fine with lyrics. I don't sing.
Yeah,
I'm not a singer. I used to write lyrics a lot back in before maybe 2000, back mid 90s to. We used to write a lot of lyrics back then. Right. We had a singer at the time, but I kind of just stopped writing lyrics.
And would you kind of not trust your own voice in relation to, like, there's surely songs there that have come up in relation to your own solo work that you must have thought of, wonder if I could maybe add a female vocal, your own vocal?
I think I've probably taken the instrumental thing as far as I want to, I think, now.
Okay.
With this bunch of songs. They were all written back in 2009, 2010.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Wow. They're all written as an album together back then.
Okay.
And then my daughter came along, and I thought being a parent was a bit more important.
Absolutely.
But after a few years, kind of gradually started getting back to it. But they're all written together. I know what my point is. So yeah, it was just a matter of giving them a proper recording, really. But like now it's 12 years later and my head's kind of in a different place now. So I think going forward, I think it'd be kind of cool to get a vocalist in.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot. Yeah, I've listened to a good few of your stuff, man, and you can definitely single out a few songs that would sound really well if there was a female vocalist floating above them. But yes. I was that's why I said it to you about lyrics. Yeah. Would that be just an issue? That's why all your stuff was instrumental up to this point. And
no, it's just it was kind of like Adrian. Really, I kind of didn't want anyone else involved.
Okay, cool.
This was my little thing.
Yeah.
I've kind of grown out of that now, really, as well. I've kind of gotten over the fear of it, But back when I wrote these songs, it was very much. I don't want anyone else involved.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I
can't sing, so that was okay. I'll arrange them as instrumental. So But I'm definitely open to it now. And
yeah, man,
my next EP is already written.
everybody can sing. Get that out of your head straight away. No matter how fucking bad or good, who's the judge, you know? So
yeah. Do a bit of roaring over them, I suppose.
Yeah. Mo, I'll throw that to you. How are you with lyrics? Do you find yourself daydreaming and some of these lyrics?
I wrote two verses. I'm not even going to bullshit here. I wrote like a couple of verses for a couple of songs, Holocene and Inhibition. Actually, yeah, I wrote the lyrics to Inhibition. That's one of the singles that are coming out. But yeah, for me, I have to be really, without being so cliche, or in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to express myself through words. I like noises.
Okay, and that's absolutely cool as well. Yeah, I was just intrigued in relation to. There'd be nothing worse, I find, for all of you that like. Well, bar Keith now, but what he could be coming out in the future, trying to force lyrics and force music to suit lyrics, because it is what would you call it? It's a talent in its own right to get lyrics poetry, to match the music. Yeah. Would you struggle that way, Adrian?
I don't know. I tendency to really overthink lyrics and stuff like that. Whatever. I had to kind of sort of think about music in a different way. Normally, if I was writing stuff when I was a singer in the band, for any bands have been over the years, I'd very much write with an idea of this is a verse riff, this is a chorus, this is whatever, this is that, and I would have ideas as to where the vocals are going, and then I would have a sort of loose idea in my head as to what the structure should be. But I'm kind of, the way I listen to music and the way I sort of think about music, I'm very much of the music and of the riffs and of the rhythm and stuff like that. And I kind of have a tendency that some of my favorite songs, I don't even know, I could play a song for you, but I wouldn't know the lyrics. Like, I don't really listen to lyrics. I don't really think about lyrics in that way. And it's something that I had to try to learn to do. So at the start, I sort of struggled with it. And I was like, what do I want to say and what do I want to do? And I found that the less I thought about it and the more I just sort of let it out, that the easier it was. But I kind of have, even when I'm writing the lyrics, I tend to think very much, I come up with the melody first. I come up with what way it's going to be. I hum along with stuff, I record myself singing along to stuff. And then I write the words to suit the stuff that I'm after doing. It's never a case that I have like this really great first and I kind of force it in. Like, it always starts with the musical side of stuff first, and then I kind of make the lyrics fit that. And I try to just think about making a vibe or making whatever, like, you know, and
so it's natural.
Yeah. I try to make it try to make everything as natural as possible. Yeah,
cool. I'll throw this at you, Keith. How many hours do you spend a day playing music?
Playing music, I'm the worst practicer. First of all, I never practice.
Really?
You know, I'm ashamed of myself. Like, but I'm always working on music, though. Yeah. You know, I'm always recording or mostly recording nowadays. I'm actually out of work at the moment, so I've a big to-do list, so I'm kind of making my way through it at the moment. But
so what do you have at hand? Doing music. What do you have at hand? Is it a synth or something?
I have a synth here, my guitar, bass.
Okay.
I actually write all my stuff on my daughter's acoustic guitar.
What synths do you have, actually?
I just have a microcorg. Huh. That's all I have. I just write on that. VST stuff.
Give Molly a shout out there, man. That robot panic video was excellent.
The robot picnic party.
Brilliant.
Yeah. She wrote that years ago on my phone. You know, that's where I write all my synth stuff on my phone. Like, I'm just so lazy, you know.
Yeah. Mo, would you spend a lot of time, because your videos are always entertaining, and I love the way you do put them up, like they're unedited and it's you, there's my guitar, I'm going to play a cover song, or I'm going to do this now. Yeah. It's very organic with you. I like that.
Oh, very tongue-in-cheek, everything I do, you know.
But would you spend much time playing, Mo?
Well, like when I'm working, I work in two schools, so in between lessons, it's a constant, like, you know, like I'd have to be practicing, you know, my spare time to kind of get away from the Yankee Doodle or smoking the water repeats every day, you know. But yeah, no, like I spend a lot of time, especially on my days off as well. Like whenever I have a day off, that's me, that's my time, and then, you know, I hit the pub after.
Of course, you're a music teacher as well, correct?
Yeah. So I teach predominantly guitar, obviously, and a little bit of piano, and unfortunately a bit of ukulele as well.
Cool.
Yeah, the ukulele is awesome.
And of course, you get the reward as well when you see the kids being able to play music and coming up to you. It's great, I'd say. Yeah,
it's nice to see them kind of develop a passion as opposed to TikTok or, you know.
Yeah, the enemy, technology.
Can I ask you a question, Mo? Because I wonder about this with people that music becomes their profession. Do you ever find it hard to keep your own personal music separate from your professional music? Do you have to try and this is work music and this is what I teach, this is what I enjoy, or do you ever find like that they sort of meld over, or do you actively try to keep separated?
Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, it's a sorry state of affairs when a kid doesn't recognize a little bit of ABBA, but then again, you kind of have to. You're a teacher, so you kind of have to be like, okay, ever heard of this? No, okay, well, you're gonna like it. Come back to me next week, and they're like, oh yeah, listen to 2 of our songs, and they develop there, you know. So, but I would agree with that. I would find that sometimes even I come home from work, and the last thing I want to do is look at a guitar, you know.
I suppose, yeah.
Especially when it comes to exam season as well with the students, you know. So, but I guess it's I guess you kind of have like your personal life and your work life, you know. You separate them as much as you can without twitching your eyes.
Yeah, I can't imagine being in any house without music going on in the background, being truthful. That's the way
absolutely.
I lived my whole life up to now, and I just find it alien to be in any environment when there's not music playing, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Even going into people's houses, and sometimes they don't even have music on, I'm just kind of going, lads, I get anxious and I go, any chance I could put on a tune there or something, you know?
A little bit of white noise. And
so ingrained in my psychic just that I have to have music, you know?
I get in awful trouble because I walk around with my phone in my pocket, blasting music all the time. Mm-hmm. And the stereo would be on. You know, I can't go to the bathroom without my phone because I need to be listening to Rush or something when I'm making a wee, you know?
Yeah.
I suppose it's all how we're brought up as well. Like, we've all been exposed to music since an early age, I'm assuming. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, like, it's all how you're brought up, I suppose, and what you've been hearing since you're able to kind of pick up a little melody when you were a kid, you know?
And your family had the musicians in the hanging, or musicians coming to the house, or was there musical equipment in the house?
No, I tend to, I was a bit of a nerd when I was a kid, so I locked up myself in a room and listened to a lot of Guns N' Roses.
How bad?
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
What about you, lads? Are you coming from musical backgrounds with parents, siblings, or maybe two? Keith, yeah, of course.
Well, my parents listened to music, but not religiously like we would, you know, like I do now and stuff.
Yeah.
My mother played guitar for a while, took some lessons, but it wasn't a big thing in the house. So music wasn't massive, but I just got obsessed when I was 13, or I heard Guns N' Roses and just got obsessed, literally. And then Metallica came into my life, and everything else just was gone. Just obsessed, and it's been like that now for 30 years.
Yeah.
Do you think Lars is still a good drummer?
Lars is the best drummer on the planet.
Oh.
I wish I was as good as Lars.
It's nice to hear someone defend him.
It is. It's just strange.
The thing with Lars is if you put Lars on his drumming ability and solely on his drumming ability, then you're missing the point of Lars. Lars is like, he sets the vision of Metallica, sets the mood, he's the range, the dynamics, everything else. And when you listen to Justice for All or Master Puppets, and you hear how like amazing the dynamics of the songs are and the structure is, that's all Lars. That's what he does. That's what he brings to the table. So his double bass might not be the best in the world, but it's sort of, to a certain extent, almost irrelevant. Like he's kind of the producer within the band. That's what makes Lars great. Like, and that's why I always have, like, I'm a huge Metallica fan of the first 10 years, and I'll always have like huge love and respect for Lars because of that. Like, but yeah, that's what makes him great. Like, you know,
So anything past Reload or Load, you're just like.
Not even that far. I hate Load and Reload.
I'd have to agree on that, Adrian, myself. But he's just a bit of a motor mouth as well, which never helps. Right, so I'm going to play one song first of all, and it's going to be Tacky Boots and Technology. It's off Keith's latest release. Give it a blast. Keith, that's coming out on March the 11th.
Friday the EP is out, yeah.
Yeah, Tacky Boots and Technology. What's the idea of the title?
It's all, as I said, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But Tacky Boots, it's kind of when old school and new school meet.
Okay.
So Tacky Boots, Tacky Boots is like a Limerick thing, is it? Do you know what a tacky is?
No.
No, it's a Limerick thing.
Right. What is it?
That's a tacky.
Ah, okay.
So that represents, 80s metal, and technology is just, clashing with modern.
Yeah.
It's a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah.
So there's all the glitchy sounds with the old school riffs.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, and it blends so well because that's a whole art form in itself. Getting the synths to blend in with all those rhythms that were changing constantly, and some fantastic guitar work over it as well.
Yeah, well, the guitar, as I said, it was all written 10 years ago, or no, more, 13 years ago at this stage. But the synth was something that came later, because I have a love for synth as well, horror synth and John Carpenter and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, Carpenter Brute, is it? And a few others.
Or, all John Carpenter's movies, Halloween and 80s
synth. What it reminds me of? Do you know what it reminds me of? It's got an old retro kind of video games that kind of like Time Splitters or Street Fighter or something,
Spot
it's kind of got that vibe off it. I love it. It's absolutely stellar.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah,
but that's kind of what I was going for,
I hear I hear some death in there, like Chuck the Liner stuff. Like I can kind of hear that in the riffs.
Of course. Big time. I love Death. I love Chuck.
Yeah, definitely hear that.
I think Death has been an influence on every single thing I've done.
Oh,
ever. You can always hear some Death in there,
Riffs kind of, I don't know what the technical term is. Mo might be able to help me out, but the way the riffs kind of move around or modulate or something, that kind of sounds like that.
There's a little bit of polyrhythmic kind of playing in there as well, from what I can remember.
I wouldn't know. I believe you.
That sounds amazing, man.
He just didn't quantize it. That's all.
Yeah, because I used to live near a fun fair, and you'd always be in there. You'd always hear those arcade games in the background, be it pinball machines and Space Invaders and all that, and such a cool thing to have it blended into that kind of form of music.
It's really cool. It sounds like there's a thing I think about sometimes when it comes to like retro stuff, that you kind of get this sort of like, there's retro and then there's like retro futurism, and it's kind of like how the future looked from the retro perspective. If you look at like 70s sci-fi and 80s sci-fi, there's this idea of how the future would have looked like from their point of view. And it's like
a tech noir kind of thing.
Yeah,
you're absolutely spot on. Because when I'm saying old school, and I'm talking about the future from the view of the 80s.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct. Yeah, obviously nailed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fair play, Adrian.
We're such nerds.
I was going to say, because there is such a kind of a real throwback to and a good vibe about the 80s with the likes of Stranger Things and shows like that, where it's done so well. You'd literally think it was filmed back in the day, and for that to work, they have to have a really good soundtrack as well. And and that's a lot of your stuff, Keith, as well. I think would fit comfortably in with some kind of unusual anime or movies, soundscapes.
I'm writing music for a fan film thing at the moment.
Perfect.
My introduction to it, but it's all synth. It's not really a metal thing, but it's just trying to blend those two. Like, I kind of had the metal stuff and the synth stuff very separate, so I kind of wanted to find a way,
to bridge them,
to bring it together. So
yeah,
I said I'd give it a go.
I think it works, lads. Definitely.
100%.
Yeah. So, Adrian, I'm going to give one of your songs now a blast, and it's my favourite one off the album, and it's the one you gave me, actually, funnily enough. It's the opening track, Dark Hours Turns to Years. And I'll give this a blast. class, lads.
Savage.
Well done, my man. I'm hearing, right? I'm hearing now, I could be fucking 100% wrong, but I'm hearing New Model Army, Paradise Lost, and some other great fucking 80s kind of gothic metal bands coming through there, mixed with a nice modern blend as well. Maybe Amorphous or someone knows.
The bass tone is fucking class. Like, I love like that Terminator's ribcage tone, you know?
Monstrous.
Deadly.
I don't own that bass. That's just the one that had the studio.
What bass is it? Or
it's a Warwick. I think it's what model it is. It's just a Warwick. It's just fucking such a great sounding bass. Like
Savage. I love a good like tinny sound with bass. You know what I mean?
Keith, what were you thinking when you were listening to that? Would you love to have fucking added drums to it?
I'd record with Adrian anytime. I'm a massive fan of Adrian's playing. Stereo Nasty are arguably probably my favourite Irish band of all time, or at least up there.
Wow.
I absolutely loved Stereo Nasty stuff. I had my cassette and my T-shirt. And, I was heartbroken when they broke up.
Jesus.
But I'm a big fan of Adrian's playing anyway, so we'll have to do something sometime.
Hear that, Adrian? You're going to have to leave go of the reins at some stage. Get Keith in.
I actually didn't hear any of that. My internet went out there. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear. All I heard was cassette. I didn't hear anything. So sorry. What was it?
It's worth repeating
I
again.
was just saying, you need to get lessons or something. I was just saying. It was all good. It was all love. I'm big. I'm just saying, Stereo Nasty are one of my favourite Irish bands. I was heartbroken when the band broke up.
And he said he'd absolutely love to work with you at some stage, Adrian.
Yeah, just move to Bagnallstown and
everything's internet these. I don't meet any of the lads that play my stuff. I've no interest in talking to them.
So this is the EP, The Ancient Ark. I love the artwork as well, Adrian. Who did that?
I can't remember the guy's name. It's really bad. Like, no, I kind of went looking for artwork that I liked, and I found this artist that was doing some stuff that I really, really liked, and I contacted him and I was just talking about it, and I need to remember his name, but I can't remember his name. But
where's he from? Roughly, what part of the world is he from?
Mordor.
It's a kind of Indian name, somewhere like really kind. It's the name. It's I don't even go try to pronounce it, but it's a very unpronounceable kind of Indian sort of name. So, but he just had some stuff up. I mean, it took me fucking ages to find something that I liked. But to go back to your point there about the Paradise Lost. Huge influence on that. Bit of kind of Amorphous, that sort of early mid 90s melodic death metal type of thing. And then to try and add some sort of other influences into that rather than just like trying to recreate Shades of God over and over and over again. But that's the kind of vibe of it.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. As I said, it's a brilliant EP, and it's great to have a physical copy of it as well. Fair play.
Cheers. Thanks for buying it, you know. Really appreciate it.
Well, we're going to have an old Witchkicker track to finish up the podcast. That's Nature Nurture. And is it Repent, is it? Or Resent?
Resent.
So fucking fake, it's almost real.
Mo.
Thank you.
That's like pure fucking Motley Crue.
Yeah, we were described as that quite a few times at our shows. Like, it's like, I remember someone being, oh, you're like a female Motley Crue. It's like, really?
That's good praise for me anyway.
Mostly sound-wise, not image-wise.
And Adrian, you a fan of that music?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
No, that was really awesome. Yeah, very, very much a fan of that. Very much a fan of Motley Crue, all that stuff. Yeah, very, very cool. Very kind of like it's like a modern reinterpretation of that stuff. It's kind of like it's quite cool. Yeah, very, very cool.
Definitely not our attention.
In there as well.
Yeah, you can hear Guns N' Roses coming through as well. But like overall,
Great,
it's a real fun vibe song. I mean, like I hope you really get together again and get out some more of that stuff. Mo,
I hope so too. Like it's possibly in the works. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Are you a fan of that, Keith?
Absolutely love it. Yeah. Drums sounds insane. I don't know. I love everything about that. Yeah. Plus, I mean, it has to be the greatest Irish band name of all time.
It's a class name, isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you.
10 Ton Slug and Witchkicker. I'm tired at the top.
There you go, man. Fucking hell. There's a tour there in itself, isn't there?
Imagine, just for the name, just for the poster. That was excellent.
Thank you, guys.
So, like, before we wrap it up, what do you enjoy the most about being a solo artist? We'll start with you, Keith.
I suppose I just like not having to depend on anyone, really.
Okay.
You know, Molly heads off to school 8 o'clock in the morning. I come straight up here, and there's kind of no limits. You know, not that I'm great at anything, but I've enough to get I have enough to do what I want to do. You know.
Yeah.
So, but not dependent on someone not showing up, or you know, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting so much recording on it at the moment. It's insane. It's really great, you know.
So creatively,
it's been building up a long time, you know.
So creatively, like you're really happy where you're going now with the new stuff.
It's never been going better at the moment.
That's great news to hear, man.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Adrian, over to you.
What was the question again? About what
do you enjoy the most about being a solo artist?
Probably not having to go to band practice is really, really good. Like I could say the creative freedom, but any band I've ever been in, I've always been the sort of driving force between all that stuff anyway. So if I was in a band, but I think not having to go, I'm not the biggest fan of band practice in the world. Like in Stereo Nasty, the lads that kind of tend to sit around. We might practice for 5 hours, and 4 hours I was probably spent giving out about Karen Jordan. So not having to be around that or being involved in that is really great. Like and just the freedom of everything happens so much quicker. Like when you write a riff on a Monday, it exists on the Monday and it's in the band and it's your thing. You don't have to wait till you go to practice on Friday and it gets a seal of approval for the rest of the lad, for them to hum and haw about it for a few days. It just exists and everything happens faster, which is great. So there's definitely upsides to it.
Yeah, cool. Mo?
Yeah, I agree with Adrian. I mean, the boys that I work with, like, everything's done within a couple of days in terms of sending things back and forth, you know, and I feel like lockdown has probably taught us all how to kind of get technologically advanced with that in terms of sharing ideas and working from home, basically.
Yeah.
It's nice just to have it's nice just to have like independence and you know, your own driving force, as Adrian said, like, you know, your own baby, basically.
Yeah.
Whenever you're creating your own album. And yeah.
Brilliant. And long may it continue, lads. It's, as I said, you're really talented people and I'm a big fan of all your stuff. I'll just go back over it. Again. Mo, your one is Nebularis. Is that correct?
Yep.
And that should be All Goes Well with Josh and everything
coming out by June.
June. Brilliant. Adrian, The Ancient Dark. is out now. It's on Bandcamp, correct? Is there still CDs available?
There are a couple of CDs available. It's on Bandcamp. We'll have it on Spotify soon. It's on YouTube and all that stuff. I'll get it up over the next few days. I'm pretty bad at looking after all that stuff, but it's up on Bandcamp anyway. The CD's there still, so yeah.
Oh, good. And Keith, yours is out on March the 11th, which is Friday. Tacky Boots and Technology EP. Is there 3 or 4 songs in it?
3 songs on this one. Yeah.
3 songs on that one.
But the video to Tacky Boots is out already on YouTube. Yeah. But the EP is out Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, and
no physical. I keep saying I'll release a physical release, but I never get around to it.
In relation,
you need to do a tape, Keith, or you need to do it.
Well, I actually have a sort of a plan to compile my 3 EPs, give them a bit of a remix, a remaster, and maybe release them as an album. Kind of
great idea.
More of a compilation of the 3 EPs into one album. They were written as an album in the first place, anyway.
Did you
release it on cassette, obviously?
Before I leave you go, Keith, did you actually do the video for Tacky Boots yourself as well? Did you create that video?
I'm so stubborn. I do everything myself, mix it and master it. I'm just so stubborn.
That's really good. I'd recommend anybody to have a look at the video, man. It's really good.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, lads, thanks a million for coming on the show. Crucially, support your local metal scene. And again, once again, Mó, Adrian, and Keith, thank you. Take care, lads.
Great to
thank you so
meet
much.
you. Good luck.
Thank you.